Thank you very much for watching Master Jason Feng Shui. In my line of work, I'm very fortunate to be able to meet clients and friends from many different countries. And one of the many countries that are particularly, I have this affinity with is Indonesia. I actually have a great number of clients who stay in Indonesia, and many of them, they are very kind and very friendly people. And recently, if you have followed the news, you will know that Indonesia is actually having some kind of rioting. Many people have gone to the street, and many are protesting against the government due to some form of new implementation that they have, in terms of they are paying the minister more money for I don't know what is it if you read the news, right, you have more info, yeah. So perhaps we'll read the news together, yeah. So I will not be like just anyhow tell you something that is not backed up by fact, yeah. Right, to be honest, I'm using my phone at the same time talking to you, so it's like may not be so clear in what I'm trying to say. Okay, so let's take a look at the Indonesia news right now first. Yeah, uh, if you uh, uh, if you have been following the news these few days, you know that Indonesia is actually you know having some kind of quite serious kind of rioting, and many different news outlets online, yeah, have make it headline. So perhaps we'll just read it together. For example, this piece of news, yeah, by BBC, 3 days after protests over death of taxi driver in Indonesia. Yeah, so there are already casualty. Very sad to know that. So perhaps we just read through to see what actually have has been happening in Indonesia. Yep. So three people have been killed after protesters set fire to a council building in eastern Indonesia amid nationwide demonstrations over the death of ride-sharing driver. Afan Kurniawan, 21 years old, was run over by police vehicle in Jakarta during earlier protests about low wages and politicians' expenses that are still ongoing. Yep. So it's like one thing lead to another. First of all, there were actually some kind of new policies that allow the politicians to have higher pay or something like that. Yeah, I'm not totally clear. Perhaps we will read the news together. Yeah, so we have a better understanding. Yep. The demonstrations are seen as a key test for President Prabowo Subianto, who visited the family of Kolian Wan late on Friday to offer his condolences. On Saturday, he canceled a planned trip to China next week to attend a military parade commemorating the end of World War II as violent clashes continue across Indonesia. Yep, so many people are actually very concerned, yeah, because Indonesia is a very big player in terms of Southeast Asia economy. If Indonesia is affected, I'm quite sure the rest of the Southeast Asia will be able to feel the impact. Particularly, we all know that the year 2025 and 2026, as I have also predicted earlier on, are not going to be a fantastic time for economic development. There would be economic downturn. A lot of people will lose their job. A lot of companies will be having retrenchment exercises, and overall, it's not a very pessimistic outlook, right, for the year 2025 and 2026. Yep. So before I proceed further, perhaps I will just share with you the Bazi chart of Indonesia first. Yeah. So let me turn on my iPad screen, and quickly we will jump into today's topic. So I use a few minutes time to explain the background. You guys can read more online, yeah. The your handphone and your whatever AI app will be able to tell you more about what is happening in Indonesia right now. Yeah. So, but to really focus on today's topic, which is to study Bazi, the Bazi chart of Indonesia. Indonesia, as according to the internet, was founded on the August 17th in the year 1945, and official forming of the government was about 10 a.m. So I will plot this chart as the Indonesia time, having the Yio as the year, and the Jiasen as the month, Wu as the day, and Ding Shi as the hour. As I have mentioned in many of my previous live videos, that for the plotting of charts of a country, we will always consider it as a female gender, because our sky is of the Qian Gua, our earth is of the Kun Gua. Kun Gua is of the yin energy. So we will plot the charts of countries usually using the female gender. And some people also like to call the earth as the mother earth. So like mother earth is female gender, right? Yeah, so we will use the female gender to plot the charts. So Yvonne, thank you very much for watching. Yeah. So without further ado, right, let's consider whether this is a strong or weak day master, right? Perhaps I will write it down so that it will be easier to decode. Yeah. So let's look at the Indonesia Bazi chart. It is of the, okay, let's take a look again. Yeah, I can't forget. 月有甲申無五丁己嚇，月有甲申無五丁丁字。So it is of a Wu of day master, right? This is Indonesia. And if we are to find out the Wu Xing Yong Shi, right? Because we know that within the sun metal we have Wu Earth, we have sun metal, and we have gun metal. The hidden stems, we have gun metal, and we also have red water. So for this kind of chart, we, in a very traditional way of interpreting Bazi chart, yeah, if you are familiar with something called the Wu Xing Yong Shi, you will know that the Wu Xing Yong Shi of Indonesia will be of the Wu Earth, right? Wu Earth will be of the dominant energy, yeah. So we okay, let's take a look at the 1945 August the 17th, yeah, August the 17th, yeah. So this day, if you go and check the lunar calendar, you will be able to observe that the dominant energy will be of the, what we call the, all right, sorry about that, it will be of the Wu Earth, yeah, it will be of the Wu Earth. Why is that so? This is a secret in Bazi reading. A lot of people don't know about this, called something called the Wu Xing Yong Shi. Perhaps I will touch on this and help you to understand what is it really talking about when we say that it is dominantly of the what we call the earth element. Okay, so when we look at a Bazi chart, we will always have to look at the month pillar F branch, because it is where the dominant energy is derived from the seasonal energy, right? Sun is basically of the autumn. It is in the autumn. So when we look at this sun energy, we will have the first 7 days to be of dominantly of the Wu Earth energy. And then the subsequently 7 days, right, will be of the Ren water energy. And then subsequently another 7 days, you're very hard to write, will be dominantly of the gun metal energy, right? So Indonesia was was founded on the August 17th, right? August 17th, right? In terms of the lunar calendar, it is of 7月的那个初十啊。Lunar calendar is actually July the 10th. So if you count the 那个气节啊，我们叫做或者那个五行用事呢，那个主要的能量是木土的，木土才是这个八字里面 这个月份的能量比较旺的一个元素啊，说是土这个元素会比较旺的啊。那这个是我们看八字的时候一个非常重要的一个点哈，你们需要注意哈，要找那个五行用事。所以呢，at the same time we observe that Indonesia is sitting on a Wu fire. And then the time of birth is all right. The time of founding is of the Ding Shi. Very strong in the fire element. These two basically will be able to form a fire combination already. 这个火局嘛，对不对？半火局哦，半火局哦。然后呢，丁火也是正印啊。This is a direct resource. So overall, we consider Indonesia to be having a strong day master, right? To be of a strong day master. And looking at this chart, right? I told you many times before that a Bazi chart is not just the 8 characters. It is actually a picture. And if you look at this picture, you observe one thing that is very coherent with Indonesia is that first of all, Indonesia is a country with a lot of resources, right? If you observe the year and the month of founding of Indonesia, it is dominantly of the metal element, which represents mineral or raw resources, right? For example, like coal mine, different kinds of minerals, like iron or whatever, right? Like even like some of the what we call I'm not sure is like metals, metals kind of raw resources are something that is very easily found within Indonesia. And secondly, Indonesia also have many forests. So you observe the heavenly stems of Indonesia. There are Jawood, there are Yiwood. This is a representation of the country being very rich in plantation also. Yeah. So interestingly, Indonesia is of a Wu Earth. Wu Earth 是一个我们叫做呢能够藏很多东西的一个元素啊，厚德载物啊，我们叫做木土厚德载物，就是说呢，它能够 produce 很多东西produce 很多东西的一个国家哈，所以呢，Indonesia 是一个 resource rich nation resource rich nation 如果呢你是用八字，OK 啦，其实用八字讲是比较容易啊。木土的特性永远是什么样它的特性就是厚德载物这个厚德载物的成语呢，对懂得中文的人呢，应该没有需要怎么样去解释。可是呢，我很多的观众他们都不是说对中文很大的认知。So in terms of Wu Earth Day Master, in terms of Chinese, we have a phrase to describe it as the 厚德载物。And in terms of English translation, what does that mean? It means that Indonesia will have the characteristics of being a country that is very rich in natural resources. And it will also be what we call being a country that is, have great responsibility and will be able to of great influence. And if you look at Indonesia, definitely it has a very great influence to both Southeast Asia and to the world. In fact, I believe within Southeast Asia, Indonesia is the largest economy. And another point that I want to point out to you guys is that, right, if you stay in Singapore, you will know that particularly near to the second half of the year, usually Indonesia will start burning the forests. And then it will bring about a lot of smoke, a lot of haze into Malaysia and Singapore. Sometimes even the haze will affect Thailand. Yeah. So if you look at the day pillar, the day branch of Indonesia, it is likewise of Wu fire, right? Wu fire means burning, right? And then the time of founding is likewise very strong in the what we call the fire element. Yeah. So it comes to a conclusion, right? Give us a very conclusive picture, right? Indonesia, yes, indeed is very rich in natural resources, able to produce a lot of raw materials like metals, like minerals, or all kinds of like even plantations. At the same time, Indonesia once in a while will kind of produce a lot of haze also, right, for the whole Southeast Asia. Yeah, due to the fact that the Bazi is likewise showing the same thing, right? I have a lot of wood on top, a lot of metal also, which represents raw material and minerals. At the same time, a lot of fire, right? So yeah, so we cannot escape the fact that every year we will be like affected in a negative way, right? By the smoke and the haze from Indonesia. Sometimes you call us to have eye problems, and we will have tearful eyes, or we will have respiratory issue. Yeah, but now it's getting better. I believe, there's some kind of like, diplomacy going on between Singapore and Indonesia, that kind of stop the burning of the forest. Yeah, hopefully it will continue to be that way. Yeah, but interestingly, if you look at Indonesia, some of the worst years in Indonesia were between these 1997 to 1999. Yeah, particularly 1997, 1998, and 1999. If you do remember, in the year 1998, right? There was a very great racial riot in Indonesia, and a lot of people were killed during this period of time. So I like to back up whatever I share with facts. So let's look at Wikimedia. Wikimedia has a very comprehensive recording of this piece of history, May 1998 riots of Indonesia. So, a lot of Chinese particularly were targeted. It was, amidst the 1997 Asian financial crisis, and anti-Chinese sentiment in Indonesia actually escalated during particularly May 1998. Yeah. So for example, in this picture, we see a lot of people burning the whatever, during the protests, burning furniture during the protests. And there, to be honest, during that period of time, a lot of gruesome pictures were found online. Like people having their head being chopped off, and it was also reported, there were many inhumane treatments towards the Chinese. So it was a very sad case. Some of the Chinese actually have their head being chopped off. They tied it to a motorcycle, and the rider actually, the protesters actually, just tie the head to the back of the motorbike, and then they kind of run the head all over the capital, Jakarta. Yeah, so it was really chaotic. And but the point is that when we look at the Batu charts of Indonesia during this period of time, it was likewise showing a very chaotic situation, right? First of all, let's look at 1988. It was within the decade trend of this Zhichou. So let me explain to you with visual so that it will be clearer for all Bazi learners. So let me write down right. Okay, let me write down the Indonesia chart first. It is okay. This is Indonesia. It is having this Yi You and Jia Shen and Mu Wu and Ding Shi. So what actually happened in the year 1988? It's 1998. 1998 is the period of time whereby Indonesia is at this 5-year period of the Zhichou, right? Zhichou. Okay, particularly Chou, right? Chou is between, right? Let me try to write it down for you. Zhichou, as most of us know that I often prefer to see the first 5 year as represented by the heavenly stem, and the next 5 year as represented by the earth branch for that decade. So during this period of time, which is 1988, yeah. So just give me a moment. Okay, 1988, it is within this period of Chou. And particularly, it was 1988, right? If we are to count properly, it was starting this period of time, right? Let me use a different color. This period of time started from 1997 and run all the way to 2001. Okay, and if you are familiar with Bazi reading, you will know that Chou itself will have a Xing relationship with Wu Earth, right? We're having a, some people like to call it a Chuan relationship. So this is actually an indication of a very problematic development during this 5-year period for Indonesia. Yeah. And additionally, if you look at the year 1998, it was a year of the Mu Ying. And this Mu Ying is actually having a Tianke Dichong relationship with this Jia. And at the same time, okay, this is all right. Sorry, I have to erase this. This is actually the sun. Yeah, this is actually the sun. Yeah. So if we are to like 1998, it is actually have a heavily stem clashes and of branches clashes with the Mun pillar of Indonesia. And if we look at the country's Mun pillar, it is often related to the government. So this is a period of time whereby the government of Indonesia will experience tremendously great chaos, instability, etc. And indeed, it took place in the month of May. Likewise, if you look at the month of May, right, 1998. Let's go back to the month of May, 1998. All right. So let me check on the lunar calendar. The month of May in the year 1998, it is particularly of the Ding Shi. It is a Ding Shi month if you refer back to the lunar calendar. And this Ding Shi month is actually having a Fu Ying relationship at the time pillar of Indonesia. And for our country, the time pillar actually will be referring to the populace. So indeed, in the month of May 1998, this rioting that particularly have bring about a lot of bloodshed, a lot of gruesome kind of murders, even like a lot of inhumane treatments of the Chinese actually have taken place. How many deaths were there in this riot? Perhaps we will kind of check online how many deaths have been caused by this riot. As according to the internet, more than 1,000 people have died during this Indonesia riot. Yeah, so this as backed up by facts. Or again, right. You guys can search for all this info online. More than 1,000 people and possibly up to 5,000 died during the May 1998 riots in Indonesia. The riots were largely triggered by unrest in Jakarta and other cities, leading to widespread destruction and violence targeting the ethnic Chinese community. Many victims were killed in burning buildings, while others died from shootings or beatings. So it is really one of the saddest incidences that have occurred, in Southeast Asia history. So to be honest, right, there were a lot of very gruesome kind of pictures circulated online, likewise, but I will not show them to you, right, during this live broadcast because they will need to be censored. Yeah. So let me take a look at Yvonne's comments. Yeah, Yvonne says it can't be helped. Indonesia has to clear her land to cultivate new crops. Yes, definitely, I agree with that. Yeah, it's something even Thai people also practice that. To be honest, yeah, they will burn the land for starting a new round of seeding. So it is a common practice, but still right, it will bring about air pollution, right? That is also a fact. Yeah. So clear the forest. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So also if we are to focus back on the Bazi aspect of this issue, we know that Indonesia is a strong day master as mentioned. Yeah. And we see that during this May, right, May 1998, 定式 is of fire element. 木影 or is武二 sitting on the longevity factor. This is a 长生 of 木影, yeah, 长生 of 木影, yeah. Hopefully it's not too crowded, my screen, yeah. And additionally, it is子丑, so will cause the Indonesia founding day to be founding day chart, Bazi chart to be totally off balance. Thus, the result crisis was the writing, and also it was a period of time whereby the government was not able to exercise strong control due to the fact that the Jiasen is clashing with Wu Ying, right? Because Jia Wu will be having a co-relationship with Wu, Ren Shen will be clashing with each other. Yeah. So even for countries' development, Bazi will be able to tell us a lot of things. So come to the most important question is that will the current riots in Indonesia escalate? Well, let's continue to analyze this together, right? Sometimes I like to come online, to have a chit chat with you guys whenever I found something interesting. I like to, have a very interactive discussion with you guys because I find it to be fun. So let's observe this second half of the year, which is of dominantly of the 是 fire energy, right? 这个2025年下半年是用这个巳火来代表的嘛，所以进入这个巳火的能量的时候呢，我们会发生什么事情呢？这个巳火其实会让这个武 Indonesia 的那个 day master, it will strengthen the day master, causing it to have an imbalance again, right? To be off balance again. So whenever there is some form of off balance for a day master, that especially like Wu that is strong, but it is off balance, it will experience a situation like rioting, or even like situations like a lot of anger in the populace, yeah, due to the fact that Shi is exactly the time of founding of Indonesia charts. Shi, when double of the Shi appearing within this chart, forming a fire combination formation. And particularly, we mentioned that time pillar is related to the populace, the population, so to speak. So the population will start to become frustrated easily, angered by the economic climate or the new government policies. Basically, the whole thing started on the 25th of August. If you refer to the news, right, when it started, right? When did the riot started? It was exactly on the 25th of okay, let me double check again. It was on the 25th of August, yeah, which is 2025, of course, yeah, is this year 2025. So if you look at the lunar calendar, right, let's look at the lunar calendar. The month of August, and particularly on the day of the 25th, it is exactly of a Pinyin day. Exactly of a Pinyin day, yeah. And this is, of course, the indirect resource for World Day Master, right? Indirect resource. And it is indeed a very hot kind of Bazi formation because Bing, when sitting on Ying, Ying itself is likewise a 长生, is a longevity factor. So to translate, it is the longevity factor for Bing fire. So likewise, a very hot day in terms of Bazi, is a very hot day. So likewise, we can see that whenever Indonesia is going into yearly development or month development or day development that shows very hot fire or a very strong earth energy, it will get into problems. It will get into troubles. Additionally, it is also Jiasen month is a month of Jiasen. Of course, we earlier mentioned that this is the year of Yi Shi. Overall, this day is having what we call a 申酉戌 xing, san xing, what we call the 申酉戌conflicts. So it's no coincidence. It's no coincidence that the rioting actually started on the 25th of August, due to the fact that it is a day that is not auspicious for the founding day of Indonesia. At the same time, is seeing 人生是三行. This kind of conflicts would usually, for countries about to chat, will bring about chaos, will bring about violence, will bring about rioting, protests, etc. So on the 25th of August 2025, protests spread to Medan, Love, Sumatra, with thousands of students, workers, and ride-hailing drivers demanding the rollback of new tax policies. These demonstrations turned violent, with police deploying riot control units. The unrest intensified after the killing of an online motorcycle taxi driver, Arfan Kuliawan, on August 28th. Yeah. So what I'm seeing right for the next few months, will the situation get worse? So let's look at the next few months in terms of the development. Yeah. I will say that August 2025, which sees the Bingxu, will be particularly a problematic month for Indonesia. As earlier mentioned, Indonesia is of a workday master that is strong. The month of October, which sees Bingxu, which is a month of Bing fire, this is a yang fire, sitting on a dry earth called the Xu, is a dry earth. So I don't see these protests, these riotings be subsided anytime soon. It is not likely to be a one-off event. It will continue to escalate. So I really hope that it is not the case. But from a Bazi perspective, it shows that October 2025 will be one of the worst months for Indonesia. So to all my friends and all my viewers, all my clients who are based in Indonesia, please do take good care of your safety. And when we have entered into the year 2026, 2026 is likewise a year that is extremely strong in the fire element. This Bingwu would once again bring about problematic development for Indonesia. And if Indonesia is affected, the rest of the Southeast Asia is also likely to be affected. So that's why I say 扯马红羊年啊，这是扯马红羊年哦。其实很多国家都会有问题啊，尤其是 Indonesia， 它是怕火的，也是怕土的啊。那希望真的我们要好好保重啦，好不好？那所以呢，我觉得这个是一个蛮有趣的一个 case study 啊，所以会想跟大家分享。But still, I really once again, right, have to remind my friends in Indonesia, wherever you are, I hope that the riots will not affect you, and most importantly, please stay safe and just wait for these riots to be over. It will not be over anytime soon. It is likely to escalate to a higher, a more serious level. And to be honest, even November, this month of November, as I have mentioned yesterday, November is likewise of Ding Hai. Hai within which have Ren and Jia. Ren and Ding will form a wood combination formation, and Jia itself will fuel fire. November is still not yet that stable for Indonesia also. And December, as I also talked about this yesterday, is of Muzi. Within Zi, we have Kui. All right, sorry, I didn't turn on the iPad. So within Zi, we have Kui. Kui will be forming a fire transformation with Wu up. So even towards the end of the year, I don't see very positive development for Indonesia, and likewise for Singapore. All right, I don't like to say that, but Singapore is also a birth chart that is afraid of the fire and earth element. So towards the second half of 2025, Singapore will see a worse economic climate. Many people will be out of job. Many restaurants, many shops will be closing down, and the year 2026 will be worse. The year 2026 will be worse. So best wishes, right? And to all business owners, right? Do whatever you can to stay afloat. Cut costs if it's possible. And for the rest of us, we also really need to tighten our belt, to do very careful financial planning for these 2 years. So okay, Yvonne has a question. Am I right to say that there's a hidden dog in Wu Earth? Well, hidden dog in Wu Earth, as in, okay, she itself, are you referring to the she? She itself does has a Wu Earth inside, yeah? If you are familiar with Bazi reading. To be honest, it is always important to observe the hidden stems within all of the earth branches, yeah? So for Bazi learners, perhaps I will just quickly repeat this for you guys one more time. If we are to look at all the so-called the Bazi earth branches, all of them do have certain kind of hidden element. Yeah, so for Bazi learners, I will write them all down so that you guys can familiarize yourself with it. Within Zi water, we have Kui. Within Chou, we have Zi, Kui, Xing. Within Yin, we have Jia, Bing, Mu. And within Mao, we have Yi, Wood. Within Chen, we have Mu, Yi, Kui. And within Shi, we have, sorry, let me hide this comment. Within Shi, we have Bing, Mu, Gen. Within, let me use another color. Within Wu, we have Ding, Zi. Within Wei, we have Zi, Ding, Yi. Within Shen, we have Gen, Ren, Mu. Within You, we have Xing. Within Xu, we have Mu, Xing, Ding. And within Hai, we have Ren, Jia. That is the reason why earlier on I mentioned that within the 5-year period of Chou, in Indonesia, the decade trend development, Chou is here. Chou is here. And then why is it having a Chuan relationship with this Wu? Because we see that within within Chou we have Kui. Kui will be clashing with Ding. So this is a Chuan relationship. If you like to use the blind school of 八字 reading, is the blind man school of 八字 reading， 就盲派八字啊，他们喜欢说相穿啊，相穿。可是呢，这个其实在八字里面还是有一个我们叫做代表困难啊，代表一些大的挑战啊等等的一种东西哈。然后Nikkei, thank you very much for watching. Good evening, likewise. Wu is either a hidden dog or a dragon. Well, Wu itself, can you say is a hidden dog or hidden dragon? I can only say that, right, within Chen and Wu they are actually a hidden Wu yeah. So, because you see, right, right, let me highlight for you. Chen is here. There's a Wu within Chen, and within Xu, there's another Wu. Yeah, okay. So I'm not sure how to answer your question, but yes, within all the heavenly steps, I mean, within all the earthly branches, there are actually heavenly steps. Yeah, it's something that you have to take note of. So yes, any last questions or anyone have any input? as to the founding day of Indonesia. I believe this is quite an interesting case study. Yeah, but likewise, as mentioned, Bazi is also able to decode a country's development. Yeah, when we use the date of founding of the country to plot a Bazi chart, we can see a lot of things when we are able to decode it properly. So yeah, once again, hopefully this is not likely to be a long-lasting thing. The rioting in Indonesia, hopefully it will stop soon, and Indonesia will resume peace and harmony. As soon as possible. So thank you very much for watching, and hopefully you have learned something useful today in terms of Bazi. And I will see you in the next live video. Thank you very much and have a beautiful Sunday evening. Bye bye.